iPhone 15 Pro Max could have thinner camera bump and smaller footprint. The iPhone 15 Pro Max will be thicker than its predecessor despite having a slightly reduced height and width. But it could offer a less protrusive camera rear array according to newly shared CAD renders and dimensions, courtesy of Mr. Ice Universe, second best leaker name in the game after Shrimp Apple Pro.
Great profile pic, too.
Arguable, though. Arguable. Yeah. You could probably go either way. What's interesting about Ice Universe also is the actual Twitter handle is Universe Ice. Just to keep you guessing. Exclusive iPhone 15 Pro Max or iPhone 15 Ultra. That was my next question is, are we talking still about like a 2-device scenario, or are we just assuming that the Ultra takes over for the Max? And we saw those initial renders that were put together. We had a clip here on the show, and it made the camera unit look enormous according to whatever information was fed into those renders, bigger than ever before. And obviously now, Ice Universe going in the alternate direction and saying, no, actually, these might end up thinner based on my info. The leaker known as Ice Universe has divulged accurate information about Apple's plans in the past, shared the latest CAD renders and specific dimensions in a series of tweets earlier today. You can see on the front, you have your... Is it a dynamic island type of thing, or is it two separate cutouts? I presume it's just a dynamic island scenario.
Yeah, they can't give that up that easily.
But that's an interesting looking connector on the side, or is that for the volume rocker? On the left-hand side, yeah, right there. Is that where your volume normally goes? You got an iPhone nearby? Yeah, it's your volume. Never mind.
Yeah, they just don't have the buttons on there, I think.
So this makes the camera unit look kind of more like a ramp, which other manufacturers have been doing. A little bit more of a smooth transition and slightly less of a jut out, slightly less of a bulge. But they did say the device itself gets thicker to compensate. Well, the thing about the device getting thicker and then the camera not, you have to assume that that's something to do with battery life. You have battery life enhancements associated with just making the whole thing fatter rather than just the camera unit. Now you get a little bit more space to work with internally. But then also interestingly, according to these dimensions, it got a little bit shorter and a little bit more narrow. So maybe they just were able to achieve something with the screen to body ratio where you have a similar form factor, but you get, a slightly smaller form factor, but you get the same screen size if they're able to jam more screen into a smaller body.
Yeah.
You can see here, if you're looking for the actual dimensions, they've got a nice chart here on Mac Rumors. Height. It's a really insignificant change, but the appearance of the device and how futuristic it feels, if you shave even a 8/10 of a millimeter and it's taken off those the black bars that are already slim to begin with, it could be significant. So, and camera total thickness, everything is over there. So the renders are ramping up there. There you go. Compared to 14 Pro Max, bezel is narrower but thicker. Titanium alloy middle frame with frosted process. Type-C, no physical button design.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Nice. It's really interesting.
It's more of like a refinement.
Yeah, it's going to be subtle. I don't think it's going to be immediately striking unless they do something with color where they name it Ultra and all of a sudden they get the orange accent going and they have
then it's a theme?
Yeah, then I think you're going to move some units. That's what I think should happen here.